Autumn time in the Atlantic brings surfers of all denominations to the famous shores of Portugal. And in the case of Ericeira, it's the world's best challengers here to compete for the glittering prize of spots for the 2025 Championship Tour. It's the EDP Ericeira Pro early morning vision of our athletes getting ready. It's a brisk and quite chilly morning down here. Glimpses of a little swell in the water. An Olympic gold medalist, no less, flew in late last night. Local talent, the likes of Mafalda Lopes, an incredible surfer from these very shores. And we're looking at a very, very big week of surfing here from Ericeira, a crucial week in the context of the season. A lot of talking points to discuss. And joining myself, Paul Evans, to help keep this fair ship off the rocks, are two beacons of Challenger Series enlightenment. It's Monday and Binzi.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, really good. A little chilly. It's fresh, right?
It's fresh. So you know what that means, though, Paul? Offshore breeze. We've got a nice, lovely, cold, but offshore breeze. The sun's coming up. It's brisk, but it's lovely.
Binzi, it's been a little while since you were back in town, mate. Is it matching your expectations? Are you stoked?
5 years since I've been in Ericeira, and it's just as good as ever. More surfers. Place is heaving, especially on Saturday night last night. But, yeah, great to be here, and looks like we're in for a good one this week.
Yeah, we're here for a good time, but it's strictly business for our surfers on the Challenger Series, and just a couple of events left close to crunch time here. And we've seen how crucial this event has been. A big result here sets you up for a massive finish in Brazil.
It's the only show in town this week, Paul. As you said, there's two events left. This one is so pivotal to the dream of making the CT. That's what all these surfers are here. The best surfers in the world are all gathered in Portugal. And there's so much on the line. There's so many good stories. And there's going to be so much drama. I just can't wait to see it just unfold throughout the course of the week.
You look excited, Ben, genuinely.
I'm really excited, Paul. Yeah. And it's early and it's the start, but I'm trying to maintain this. I'm going to build on this up to the final.
Yeah, I was a little sleepy when I woke up this morning. When I saw your face and I saw that excitement, that really
just peering over you. Yeah. No.
Guys, so, one of the key ingredients for a surf contest is, of course, waves. And let's find out if we're going to get any, because we need some swell. Obviously, it catches a lot of swell at this wave. It's a long wave. Let's see what we got throughout the week here on the famous reef at Ribeira de Las. Normally red's pretty good.
Red blobs are good. Yeah, there's some swell in the Atlantic. So that's a good sign, sort of filling up. Another one down there in the south. A bit of purple even, Paul. We love a bit of purple. That means swell. And we're just down on that last little knob there on the Lisbon coast, just north of Lisbon. And here we go. I mean, 2 to 3 foot faces. And 2 to 4 knots of offshore breeze. So that's pretty good. I think those faces might be a little bit underestimated. I reckon we're going to see some solid, what would you call 2 to 3 foot kind of waves, Binzi?
Head high, old school.
Head, yeah, sort of head high, a bit more.
Looking forward.
We've got more swell. Yeah, look, there's no mac and swells coming in, but there's a consistent run of sort of 4 foot, we're talking 10, 12, 13 second periods. So it's not going to be huge, but we've got sort of consistent run of swell all week.
A lot of excitement for Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah. Keys to surfing this wave, well, in terms of thinking about the size of the waves we're probably going to be getting, it's going to take a lot of energy. It's going to take a bit of endurance as well. It's a long wave.
It's a long wave, and it's got many moods. And, we're going to talk about wave selection. Obviously, we are, because some waves do and some waves don't. That's why it can be problematic. But you know what? If you get the right wave on that right sort of section of the reef, it opens up and you get 200 yards of smackable walls, and they're the ones you want.
Most of the surfers here are looking to try and get spots on the CT. Of course, we've got a couple who are very much established on the Championship Tour. Our surfers in the draw here include a couple of big dogs in the form of Kanoa and Leo. So both based around here. They love spending time here, and they're here to shred Ribeira de Las.
Yeah, they are. We've talked about it quite a lot over the years. Kanoa and Leo both having, some residencies just up top of the hill near Coachos there. They spend a good chunk, or if not a majority of the time here, surfing these waves, and this wave in particular. So, look, they're the two highest seeds, the two best surfers in the draw, and they spend time here. So you've got to have them as favourites, I would say, if they're motivated.
Be really interesting to see how they get on in the draw here, taking on the best from the Challenger Series. On the women's side, of course, fewer spots available. It's intense. It's competitive. We've got great storylines on the women's side of the draw as well. We'll be looking at those rankings for the women on the other side of the break here on Dawn Patrol. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Dawn Patrol at the EDP Ericeira Pro. Beautiful scenes above Ribera del Hasir in a crisp early morning. We are looking forward to hopefully getting underway and kicking things off here this morning. Right now, we're focusing in on the women's ranking. So much talent on the women's side of tour. A lot of stories, Binzi, but just 5 spots available. How do we squeeze all that talent into just 5 spots?
Well, it's tough. We've had 4 events, and the top 4 on the rankings have all won one. So that's your sort of shortcut to try and get on there. But 2 to go, and consistency the key for Ericeira in 5th, and then the field wide open for a big bunch of ladies to try and earn their position on next year's championship tour. Let's have a look at some of them right now. So Sally Fitzgibbons is on top. Big win at the US Open. Bella Kenworthy, Isabella Nichols and Erin Brooks, they've all claimed 10,000 point Changers wins as well this year. Working our way down the line, Nadia Ericeira. In the Basque Country, it's been a while since we've seen a lady from the Basque Country sort of shake up the rankings like this.
It's packed, isn't it? There's that mix of sort of young talent, Erin Brooks, and you know, Ericeira's young, Bella Kenworthy, and then the veterans, Fitzgibbons. I mean, Isabella Nichols has been on the CT for a while now, sort of hovering just on that bubble. And then Bronson McCauley at West Oz, you know, sort of such an experienced competitor. So I love the mix of that, the mix of sort of veterans and sort of up-and-coming teenagers really trying to crack the CT.
Yeah, speaking of that youthful push, surfers like Bella Kenworthy has been on an absolute tear lately on the Challenger Series, and part of that generation, that big push with different kind of approach to surfing, fresh, exciting, and it's turned into results this season on the Challenger Series. That's why she's going so well. She absolutely tore Belito apart down there in Quadakuza region of South Africa. That was in July. And then on home shores at the US Open, putting on another big performance there. And that's why she's going good in the rankings.
Yeah, she's been really consistent. Made 2 finals, won 1. You know, she's been in and around pro surfing since she was a tiny grime. Her dad, Jason, was a photographer, was involved in the Nike sort of push into surfing. She grew up with sort of Chris Moore, like, you know, almost changing in nappies and stuff. So she's been in and around, but it's great to see her just hit the mark now, really make that step up, and you know, she can make the CT here in Portugal this week, which would be amazing.
Focusing back in on the Euros, we talked about Nadia Ericeira. Ben, you and I saw her in the countdown series here when we were trying to get things going again after COVID, and she absolutely ripped this venue. This is where she is right now this season. It's ultra consistent. What she hasn't done is made a final. Is she going to need to get that qualification done?
Yeah, we were talking about this. I think she does. I think a final is a minimum requirement. I mean, you know, another 2/3 would potentially get her there. You never know. But I think just to get that extra bump in points is really important. Yeah, her backhand is lethal. That's her real strength. She knows this wave. But yeah, I think she's got to make a mark, and she's got to get over those serves. Erin Brooks has beaten her twice. Bella, another one. So she's got to beat one of those star performers to secure her position, I would say.
Well, 3 of the 4 events, she's lost to the eventual winner.
Hey, fucking good point there from Binzi. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. So
great to be back.
she's a great surfer, and the Bass heritage and that area it needs a star, and hopefully it can be Nadia.
The new Ritz.
Wow.
Being coached by Ritz, no less, as well. He'll be here coaching. Let's remind ourselves of what went down last year in the final. The waves were absolutely pumping, and a couple of surfers who have been very recently in the championship want to get back there to the championship tour. Luana Silva and Alyssa Spencer lit this place up. And Alyssa, really, this was the event and the result and the performance that solidified her spot.
Yeah, it was really, really impressive surfing in some great conditions we had last year. The finals day was this. Her backhand, again, we talk about those surfers with incredible backhands. I'd say Spencer is one of those. She was on point all event, had some major numbers, and as the swell built, so did her performance. She had a really fierce challenge. Luana Silva has also made a couple of finals here, so it's a wave she loves. A mix of Brazilian and Hawaiian heritage. That real powerful carving style which suits the wave. She's just below in 6. She's right on the money. She's had 2 CTCs now, so she's experienced. So you think these two of the back markers will be the most dangerous.
Yeah, really good to see that contrast of styles there from those two, sitting in 6th and 9th respectively on the Challenger Series rankings for the women. They will need a result over the next 2 events. Speaking on the other side of the draw of the men, one surfer's already got qualification locked in. He'll be on the championship tour once again. Meanwhile, still 9 spots up for grabs. We'll be talking men's ratings when we come back from break. Welcome back to Dawn Patrol at the EDP Ericeira Pro. Stop 5 of 6 on the Challenger Series. Early morning scenes look beautiful here as that wind funnels down the valley, grooming the face. Speaking of groomed faces, Ben and Chris, let's turn our attentions to the men on the Challenger Series ratings, because we're here for a good time, but ultimately it's all about getting yourself in that top 10.
Absolutely. There's one prize here on the Challenger Series, and that's that all-important CC qualification. These 10 guys are the best place to do it. Top 10 get through. There's a lot of Brazilians in that top mix, a real mix again of experience. Look at those ones, Benzi, like Emrod, Alain Muniz, Samuel Pupo, Miguel Pupo, you know, like those guys have been around a long time.
Ian Gavaya,
so experienced, so gnarly. And to try and dislodge them is going to be difficult. I like that George Pitar. He is one real sort of fresh air. He's a young kid from, grew up in the islands and has moved to Manly. And now he's really shown his mark on the Challenger Series in his first real year on it, really.
Well, not just the Challenger Series. He got the wild card at Bells, string of sizzling performances, then surfed all the way through to the semis at Margaret River, lost to John. No shame in losing to John at Margaret River. And we saw Al Cleland's name on the list as well.
Yeah, big movers and shakers. Let's remind ourselves what Alan got done and absolutely turned a lot of promise and a lot of sort of rep in terms of free surfing and kind of big barrels and all that sort of stuff. He turned it into a really, really solid statement, competitive performance. Did it over there at the US Open. And that's really set him up for a big season here inside the top 10. Can he keep it going?
Well, I think you can. I think that might be one of those real events that changes the career because, as you said, a big rep, a lot of free surfing, incredible power turns. But to do that in that event under severe competitive stress in tiny waves proves that he's more than just a power monger. He's got some competitive smarts, some competitive brains, and he wants it. So yeah, I think he can push on, especially if this wave should suit his style. And I love it. He just brings a whole new sort of fresh angle to surfing, Cleveland.
I think he just needs to bring that same energy. Like, he's forged his reputation as a lunatic in crazy waves. He's grown up at Pascuales in Mexico, big heavy barrels. We've seen him in Quicksilver movies just sending it, and then obviously marginal conditions at the US Open, but he fed off the energy of the crowd and turned it into a win. Can he get something out of the crowd here in Portugal this week and, dig deep and do what he did at Huntington? Who knows? There's a big prize on the line.
What a great talking point, on the verge of making history with our first ever surfer from the CT from Mexico. So that surfer's in the ascendancy on the way up. Let's talk the wounded animals. Beware of them. These are surfers relegated from the CT, and there's so much talent in there. And you wouldn't really bet against any of them in getting straight back on tour.
Two of them have won here before, Sam Pupo and David Silva.
Yeah, exactly. David's the defending champion, so he knows his wave. His backhand's lethal. Jacob Wilcox, chipper again. We talk about his backhand that can really do some damage, and he's done well here in the past and sort of just hovering on the cusp after a pretty disappointing rookie year. I mean, a lot of these guys, we saw it all out. You go through all the emotions, getting on the cut, making it all happen. You get there, and then within 4 or 5 events, you're off. And it's a real roller coaster. And how those guys there on that list can fight back and get over the disappointment is going to be key.
Yeah, David Silva, he's the defending champion. We've seen him tearing on his backhand all over the world, particularly at Winky Pop on tour. Speaking of, we mentioned Jacob Wilcox earlier. A lot of the Aussies has been an incredible run in Victoria over the past couple of months. A lot of these Aussies have been down to Bells to get some reps in for this event. Back to David Silva, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you think a surfer really, almost like his surfing's kind of designed for this exact wave. He's got that low center of gravity. He's got some power in the buttocks and in the thighs. He gets really low and he just smashes the lip here. And he is so good at this wave. And that's why he went for a big statement win. He had a bunch of excellent scores. He basically dominated this event last year.
Yeah, from start to finish. The spray he was generating, he got in his groove. It could be a bit hot and cold, but once he gets that wind-up machine going, and he never looked like losing. He in the final, he was unbeatable. He was getting 8s and 9s, often throwing away 8s and 9s in a lot of heats. He was unstoppable, and it was amazing to see. He's going to need that form to get back on the CT here again.
Stop 5 of 6 on the Challenger Series, which means we've got clinching scenarios. When we come back from break here, we'll be looking at what our surfers need to do to get on the CT for 2025. All that on Dawn Patrol right after this. Welcome back to Dawn Patrol. It's the EDP Ericeira Pro. Beautiful lines on the refit at Ribera Dilhaz as we see first glimpses of some waves in the water. What do you reckon, lads?
It looks great, doesn't it? There's lines coming in. It's pretty low tide as that sort of hopefully the tide pushes in over that reef. We'll get a bit of a push. But yeah, sunny, beautiful waves.
Super clean. And that's,
You think we're going to be on?
I reckon. Should we find out?
I reckon let's go and get the official word. I think let's go and hear from Travis Logie, who's standing by with Joanna Garnell.
Good morning, guys. It's great to be back. It's a bit chilly this morning, but who cares? We're here to watch some surfing, right? And you had a big decision this morning. What was the chat about?
Absolutely. Actually, it wasn't such a big decision. The waves are so fun. It's 3-4 foot on the sets, maybe clean offshore. It looks really fun out there. All that swell's kind of, there's still a bit of leftover. So yeah, women's round 1, 8 heats. We'll see how far we get. Men's round 1's on standby 2. So we'll just monitor the conditions as we go.
And how amazing is this event? Because there's been a lot of surfers qualified for the CT. Would you agree that this is a very important step for that?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge event, second last event of the year. So you see a lot of moving up and down the rankings. A lot of people confirming their positions. A lot of people at the end of this event will know that they don't have a shot. So every heat's a pressure heat, a career make or breaker. So we're glad we got a pretty good looking forecast. So hopefully it's going to go off with a bang, and we're going to run most of those heats in decent waves.
That's amazing. We can't wait. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Joanna. We had to wait for our Travie this morning, but we got him, and we got him good. The beanie, the hoodie, the bomber jacket. He looks great.
Oh, it's tick, 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 tick. And we had to wait, because we do, but I'll wait all day. I'll wait all year for Trav, and he's delivered. Was it a difficult decision? No, not at all. Fun waves, and as you said, every heat could be make or break, Paul.
Great news is we're on, and there's repercussions, of course, from this event. Let's check out some of our clinching scenarios. It's where we're at. We know that Bella Kenworthy, number 2, needs to make semis. Meanwhile, Fitzgibbons, Nichols, or Brooks make the final. They're on. There's just 5 spots available.
It is so tight, and even those guys have all had wins, multiple finals, they still need, go all the way basically to clinch it here and not have to result in Brazil. So, they can do it here. I reckon we will get some CT qualifiers in Portugal. We always do.
Benzie, you think it's hard being a surfer, trying to keep those scenarios out of your mind? It's taking it heat by heat, wave by wave. I mean, that's the classic trope, but that must be pretty tough to do. You're so close to it here.
They all know the maths. Come on. There's no one, at this level, you're not playing dumb. Everyone knows what they need, but you can't afford to spend too much time thinking about it. Go out there and let the surfing do the talking.
Mafalda Lopes here with a local knowledge. Just be careful to bring that board back in. And this surfer has been absolutely incredible this year. She was amazing on the Gold Coast to fire off the Challenger Series. So that's the storyline for the women. We've got the men's clinching scenarios as well to check out and see exactly what's happening there. Of course, 10 spots available for the men. And what we know is Ian Gouveia, he's on, he's in, it's happening.
Yeah, Ian's done all his hard work already. Shows you that a couple of big wins. That one in South Africa has got him over the line, so he can just come here and just express himself. Pupo, quarterfinal, not a big ask. That's a couple of heats for him. A man who's done so well here before. So I'd back Sandy Pupo to be in the CT.
Did you see the vision of him running down the beach earlier? He might have been doing squats and quad work with David Silver.
I liked all the little different jogs down the beach. Call up this sort of early morning jogs down the beach. There's Freddie Moraes. Now, he's way down the list, but he's going to be dangerous. Of course, Justin Becret there too. So they're all just coming down the beach of all of their surfs.
Minyo in the top 10.
Dakota Walters.
We just saw those clinching things, but some of these guys, he got the final. He jumped like 46 places. You can, with one massive result in this Challenger Series, you can make serious gains on that real estate on that board.
Cowley Vast, Olympic gold medalist, flew in late last night.
He's got the golden quickie sticker on the beach.
Got to town about 1 a.m. So a late night for him. First heat for the men, but of course we've had the official call, and just to reiterate, everyone's getting booted out because we are on here and we're on with the women. It'll be heat 1 of the round of 48 for the women. That's the rock dance here.
I love it. The best surfers in the world end up looking like Gumbies like the rest of us.
You see that stretch, dead low tide, uneven ground.
She needs a result here. Sophia Medina, because just 5. She's in the top 10, but not good enough for the women. Just 5 spots available, and she'll be looking to go big here in Portugal. It's been a happy hunting ground for Brazilian surfers down the years, of course.
Yeah, Sophia's been coming here a long time and hanging out with her brother Gabe and knows the wave too. And yeah, she can see that site. So her first real year of making a dent in the Challenger Series. So it's great to see her just starting to come out of her brother's shadow, and I'm really looking forward to see how she surfs.